It is Friday, June 13th, 2025. Welcome back to Baseball Today. I am your host, Trevor Plouffe. Producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. And as you can see, I do not have a co host today. Shout out my guy, Chris Rose, still doing his thing out there in Europe. And also thanks to all the people that have come in this week and made it such a fun week. Jolly Olive, Dalton Feely, Shelfie, and Swilly coming and doing a great job. We really appreciate them coming in and all of our listeners for sticking with us. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We had some people in the comments asking for this, and Chris Rose did it when I was away for an episode. He did a Ask Chris Anything. So we said, you know what? Let's do an Ask Coach Trev Anything episode. And you guys did not disappoint. There was a ton of questions asked in the comment section. And I think we're going to do about 10, maybe 15, just kind of depends on how long they go. But again, thank you guys for submitting the questions. And you know what? Let's just get right into it. The first question comes from Scotto Morris. Love that for you. I'm curious about road trips, what they're like for players. Do the guys get to go out and enjoy the city, team stuff the whole time? Are meals all done as a team? Okay. A lot of people are interested about this. And fortunately enough for me, I'm still in baseball where I get to do some of these road trips with the team. I travel with the Twins when I do the broadcasting. Travel, number one, is great. You walk on the plane. It's a private plane. Obviously, it's a chartered type of plane, and every team is different. Some people just have Delta planes that kind of have the regular type seating in there, but you have the whole thing, so you get to spread out. Some teams have their own planes. It all kind of differs there. But in all, everyone makes travel very easy for the players, and it gets daunting. Traveling takes it out of you, but this is about as easy as it gets over this type of season. So they do a good job with that. You never really touch your bags or anything like that. They try to make it as easy on you as possible. So the actual travel aspect is pretty good. Do you get to go out and enjoy the city? You do, especially if you have like a day game heading into a night game. Sometimes you have off days, but generally you can go do stuff after the game if you want, because you don't have to show up to the field the next day until 1, 2 o'clock. So you can sleep in. If you want to go out and have a dinner after the game, you can go do that, still get plenty of sleep. So guys, depending on the city, depending on who's in town, they'll go get some stuff done. And again, it changes. Depends on if you're a rookie, if you're a veteran. Sometimes the veteran's like, man, I've been to the city. All I want to do is get some sleep. If you're a young guy, you might want to go out and explore. So yeah, it's not all team stuff the whole time. You can go have some fun in these cities. And actually, it's one of the coolest parts about playing in Major League Baseball and professional baseball in general is the ability to go around to these different cities and just kind of soak up the local culture. I really enjoyed doing that. All right, the next one comes from Raja Subramoni. If you had to pick the best double play combo in the league this year, who would that be? And he wants me to focus on defense. I'm going to go with aesthetics first. I'm going to go Bo Bichette and Andre Jimenez up in Toronto. They've been playing good ball as of late. And I just like Bo Bichette. And if you ever watch Andre Jimenez play defense, you'd understand why I'd want to pick him. I think if I'm really going to give the real answer here, the one I truly believe in, the best double play combo, it's Dansby and Nico in Chicago. I'm going to go with those two. I mean, they both just have so many weapons and they're so steady and they just kind of have it all the things that you want in a middle infield combo. The ability to turn the double play obviously is a big part of that, and they do it just about as good as anybody. So I'll go them. I'll go Dansby and Nico. TJ Mead 9468. What do you think is the next revolution in baseball, like the analytics revolution? And how will starting pitching usage change? I think that is the next revolution in baseball. I've said that on, one of our programs before, where I think the teams are going to look at pitching differently. The guy that's going to go 7 innings for you is kind of like long gone. We don't have too many of those guys in the league anymore. I know Rob Manfred has said he wants teams to get back to that and focus on that. I don't know what he can do to make them do that. Like you can't just snap your finger or add some sort of rule to make that happen, I don't think. So my take on this for a while has been, I think we're going to have a lot more than 5 starters in the rotation. I think we're going to have a bunch of piggyback guys, I do think we're going to expand rosters for more pitchers. And I do think we'll eventually probably have like 7 to 8 starters, like bulk. They'll all just be bulk guys. and we'll still have our high leverage relievers, but the majority of relievers will be tasked to go 2 innings at a time. I think that's what we'll see. It will be less guys going 7 innings pitch, more guys going 3 or 4 and just piggybacking on top of each other. That's what I see. I think the trend is there already for that. But I think that's going to happen in the near future. And next one comes from Colin Genrich to 845. The favorite stadium you ever played in and your least favorite stadium you ever played in and why? Favorite stadium is Fenway for me. I just enjoyed the history and it's just different. I don't know. There's something about Fenway. It's daunting to play there. It's one of the longest walks back to the dugout if you strike out and the people are they're all over you. And they can get aggressive there. But I think in a good way for the most part. And then just seeing the monster in left field is iconic. And you're walking in this tunnel from the dugout to the locker room, and you just know the people that have walked in that tunnel before. It gives you chills when you do it. I got the sign behind the wall and put my name in there with a bunch of other big leaguers. And I don't know, man, there's just something about Fenway. I also love the city of Boston too. It's a cool city. So I'll go there. Another one, I love going to Kansas City. Playing at Kauffman was a lot of fun. I think it's one of the better playing surfaces around. And the city there is fun too. You get to walk around, have breakfast. It's good. Least favorite stadium was the old Texas Stadium because it was so hot. It was so hot. The grass was snaking all the time. And I always felt like by the end of the game, because it was so hot, there's nothing the grounds crew can do. The infield ended up getting very, very hard. So bad combination of snaky grass with a hard infield. And it was hot. It's the only place that I played in that IVs were like ready for you when you finished a game, and people were all over them because you just became so dehydrated. So I'll say that's my least favorite, even though I didn't hate it. There's not a bad big league stadium. I'll tell you that right now. So if I had to go least favorite, it'd be Texas though. The old Texas. Moving on. Bo's Gaming World, or maybe it's Boz Gaming World. Shout out. If you don't like talking about yourself much, I know you don't like talking about yourself much. Has he watched this show? What was your favorite moment in your career? Now, maybe this was to set me up to make me feel bad about myself. I never played in the playoffs, man. It hurts me. Like, I think about it way more often than I should. So I don't have like a really cool got into the playoffs moment at all. So I have like a couple little ones, man. The second ever hit of my big league career was against Jeff Supan, who went to my high school and who would come when I was in high school and like practice and like just be around us. And he was a big leaguer. And I thought that was so cool. I'm still friends with Jeff to this day. Hit a double off him. The guy that picked the ball up was Ryan Braun, who I grew up playing with, and we worked out together in the off season. He picked the ball up, and Delman Young, who I played travel ball with growing up, scored. So it was just kind of this entire like circle of life type thing for me. That's not the right term at all, but it all brought it into perspective. It was a very cool moment. My parents were there as well, so that was a lot of fun. Another fun moment in my career. Let's think about it. It would have to be popping champagne in 2010 after we won the division. We won 96 games. It was early in September. We stuck around to watch, I think, the White Sox lose to the A's, I think it was. So we had to wait around a little bit to celebrate, but I'll never forget that. It's the only time I got to pop champagne in the clubhouse in the big league stadium. And it was amazing, and you don't forget stuff like that. We had a great night, a really, really fun night. Okay, moving on. I don't know how to say this one. Avivre Snick 9923. Favorite Game of Thrones moment / character. I'm more of a Lord of the Rings guy. I do love Game of Thrones. They are pretty dang similar. There's lots of backstory and the novels themselves provided much of the shows and the movies. So I think that's great because there's a ton of backstory. Game of Thrones moment, Red Wedding was the craziest thing. I didn't read any of the books for Game of Thrones. I did Lord of the Rings, but not Game of Thrones. So I when I was watching the show, did not know what was going to happen. And I really actually liked that. And when the Red Wedding happened, I audibly gasped and could not believe the TV show did that. I mean, the first episode, they cut a very prominent character's head off. Was that the first episode? I don't know. It was one of the first episodes. Favorite character is Braun. So good. Like he's just the best fighter. I always love those type of characters, the underdogs that become, the right hand man's. He's my favorite for sure. And the next one comes from Eagle725. What was your first impression of Jomboy and Jake? First impression, we met at a bar near me called the Local Peasant, and they were in town doing, I think, something for Easton, and I wanted to talk to Jimmy about like joining the company, investing in the company. I later found out, or on the way to this meeting, I found out that there was already an investment group in place that was run by like a guy that I knew randomly. So I ended up getting in on it, which was great. But I showed up to the meeting and they were just like normal dudes. And I told my buddy, I said, let me talk to these guys. And I want to see like how it is. Like, do I like them or not? I'm not trying to like get into business with somebody that I don't want to be around. And I love them right away, man. Like just genuine dudes who like love baseball. Like they're good. At the time, they weren't family men, but they've turned like they're good family men. They're guys I want to associate myself with, and I'm proud to associate myself with them. True story, though. True story. I had no idea who Jake was. Had no idea. I was like, who the fuck? Like, who is this guy? I'm here to talk to Jimmy. And then Jake was there all with my business. And now look, he's one of my best friends. Both these guys, man, they've turned into lifelong friends for me, and it's pretty special, man. So yeah, that was my first impression. Great questions so far, everybody, but it's time for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, grit, and determination. And I do think this guy exemplifies that. I'm going with the third baseman for the San Diego Padres, Manny Machado. On the week, he went 11 for 30. He had a double. He had 3 home runs. He also had 10 runs driven in on the week. On Tuesday, he matched a career high with 5 runs driven in. In the month of June, he's been banging the ball around, man. 17 for 45. He's got 4 homers for the 1 dot in the month of June, and he's crushing it on the road and with 2 outs this season. 344 batting average on the road this season. That's best in the National League. He's also hitting 364 with 2 outs this season. That also is best in the National League. So shout out our guy, Manny Machado. Today's episode is sponsored by Bosch. When you pick up a Bosch Power Tool, it makes you feel empowered, confident, and appreciated. No matter what job lies ahead, you will crush it. I crushed a job today. I was putting some new footings on some chairs outside in my backyard. Had my Bosch drill. It made it very simple and effective. As a global leader for power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions are built with quality engineering and precision in mind that every dad needs in his toolbox. This Father's Day, help dad feel like the real MVP when tackling tasks on the job site or when he's getting projects done around the house. Gift him a selection of Bosch's tool essentials like the Blaze 100-foot measuring laser or the 18-volt compact brushless half-inch drill and driver kit. Both are 20% off now and available at retailers like Amazon and Lowe's. With Bosch Power Tools, Dad will be powered up and ready for anything that gets thrown his way, because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. Head to BoschTools.com today to learn more about the power tools Dad needs in his toolbox to get the job done right every time. And we pick it back up now. Thank you, Augarina 2012. Have you ever considered working for a front office or coaching staff? I have. I actually went to the Dodgers and asked them to get me on the player development side. I went to instructional league with them in Arizona, and I hated it. I spent 3 days down there. I didn't want to travel really, and I just didn't feel right. I didn't really know exactly like where. They kept asking me, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I just want to coach. And they're like, well, what do you want to coach? And I didn't really have a good answer for them at the time. I think if I could go back, I would say, let me be the liaison between your analytical department and your players. But the Dodgers, they have so many coaches and they already do that already. So I just don't think it was a good fit. And now I love what I do. I love talking about the game with you guys on YouTube with Chris and everybody at Jomboy Media, and I also love calling games for the Twins. So I think I'm set. I don't want to coach. I know that for sure. And then the front office thing has never really entered my mind. The next one comes from Tim the Enchanter. He watches Game of Thrones for sure. I'm curious what it was like both getting the call up to the bigs for the first time and what those first few weeks were like adjusting to the majors. The call up, I'll start there. Actually, let me go to the second part of the question. I was only there for like 4 days my first call up. There was still a 7-day IL at the time, and JJ Hardy uh, didn't play for like 3 days before they called me up. So I got a series against the Brewers, and then they sent me down. So I didn't have a ton of time to adjust. But the call up was great. I mean, you work your entire life, man. And I spent a lot of time in the minor leagues, and a lot of it was failure and then figuring it out, and then failure and then figuring it out. So finally to get to the big leagues was, I mean, it's something you never forget. And getting to call your parents and letting them know, like, hey, like all the sacrifices you guys made to help me do this, like we're here now. Like it was a really cool thing to share, man. And that's why when you see these call up videos, I think they resonate with a lot of people, because baseball specifically as a sport, you have to grind. You don't go from college to the major leagues. You just don't. Very few people in the history of the sport have done that. So, you have to put your time in the minor leagues and grind. And when you finally get that call, it's a crazy, crazy feeling. You're scared, you're excited, everything kind of all at once, man. But it's something I'll never forget for sure. Next one comes from KVB Music 333. Check out his music or her music. What is something that you wish that us non-professional athletes knew about the life of a major leaguer or just a professional athlete in general? Well, I was going to say I'll speak for baseball players because that's what I know, but I've gotten to be friends with my buddy Matthew Stafford, and so I can kind of like see it from his perspective as well. The truth is, like I wish everybody knew, guys are going to have tough days, especially in baseball when you're playing every day. Like there's home life still happens. Like everyone thinks that, oh, you probably have 5 nannies and a butler. And it's like, no, dude, like I was going home from Twins games before we were sleep training Teddy. And I was getting home from games and rocking him to sleep in my arms for like 45 minutes. Like, and like life happens to everybody. Like I know people know this, but baseball players they're just regular people who happen to be good at baseball. That's it, man. Like, so we still go through all the same struggles mentally, physically, relationship wise, family wise, like everything still happens the exact same. But you have to go play a Major League Baseball game on top of it. So I think there are times where you really have to cut guys slack because you never know what they're going through. And that's just a life lesson in general. How about just life lesson in general? Cut people some slack. Try to walk in their shoes. See it from their perspective, because I think we're a little bit too divided in general as a nation. And look at me. Where am I going with this question? I don't know. But I think that is good advice. Like sometimes you gotta put yourself in other people's shoes. You can't just see it from your perspective all the time. You gotta take into account what people are going through because it means something. So I don't know if I really answered the question, but yeah, baseball players they are probably more so than any other sport. They're like regular people. Next one comes from Bruce Nick 6074. What's a couple of things you'd like to change or see at All-Star Weekend? Okay, I'll give these away. I've thought about this since I was a player. I want a skills competition, and a real one, dude. There are certain things that guys grow up doing that youth baseball players. So we want to connect with the youth. Okay. There are things that youth baseball players do at tournaments and, just in general at practice and stuff that we should have Major League Baseball players doing. The one thing I really want to do, and now that we're with Major League Baseball, shout out, like, can you make this happen? And I'll run it. I promise. I want in spring training, I want to get everybody to put what they think is their best 4 guys to go around the horn. So start at catcher, third base, second base, first base, back to catcher. And I want the fastest time to win. I want there to be a big monetary prize that those 4 guys get to divvy out to the people that work in the organization that like, the security guards or the ushers or somebody like that. I think that'll be really cool. Or somebody in the community, whatever it can be. I want it to be a big prize, not to the players. I want them to be able to give it out and show their appreciation. But I just think it'd be really cool to have these guys go up against each other and see who has the fastest hands in the league. I mean, people will take immense pride in that. And I think the way you do it is you film them all separately in spring training, and you don't tell the teams like who's winning. You just tell them the winning time, who has the best time so far, and you let them try to beat it. And I think we could create like an incredible, that's incredible content to me. And I think a lot of other people would really like that. So skills competition is what I'd like to bring back. I think that'd be a lot of fun. This one comes from Charblow 11. Charbloy. I don't know how you say that. Shout out. I'd love a quick segment on your glove care tips. What oil do you use? How do you go about breaking in your glove? Did you help your son break in his glove? Great question. This is one of the things that I think parents who have young kids struggle with the most. What kind of glove to get them? There's not very many good options. I've put out a tweet before with my favorite options. There is a Mizuno glove that you can see. You can get it on Amazon. It's very lightweight. It's not leather, so it's really not meant for like, I wouldn't use it past like 10, like a 10U player, because it's not meant for like a durable hard ball. But it's a great starting glove because it's very lightweight and the kids can actually close it. A lot of the gloves you'll get are really stiff and they're heavy. They can't really control it. You can see that. So this one's lightweight. It breaks in easily and kids can use it. So go check that out. Just like go on Amazon and type in Mizuno youth glove and you'll see it. I think it comes up as red and blue. That's my favorite glove for a kid. If you get him a leather one, like, hey, that's a great thing for a kid to have. And I truly believe, steal this from me too, Rawlings, by the way, like you should make that your slogan. Like, this is a gift that'll last forever. You can't really say that about a lot of things. If you treat your glove right, especially a person that doesn't use it all the time, it'll last you forever. It's like a generational piece. You hand it down. Rawlings, steal that, please. But if you want to break it in correctly, there's a few ways you got to do. The best way is to go out in the heat and play catch. That's the number one best way to break in a glove, is going and just playing catch with it. Especially if you're in Florida or Texas, somewhere where it's humid, you'll break it in no time. That's the best way to do it. Two easier ways to do it, I'll give it to you right now. You can fully submerge your leather glove in water. Fully submerge that thing. Get it sopping wet. And then put your hand in it, and the leather at that point will be malleable, and you can kind of move it around. So you form a pocket, get your hand in there. You can kind of like put your fingers in there and almost like imprint your hand into the glove. And then once you do that, just set it down like somewhere where there's airflow. It doesn't have to be like a fan on it, but just set it down and give it a week, and it'll dry. Maybe not even a week, like 5 days. It'll dry. It won't be waterlogged, and it'll be a lot looser, and you'll feel your hand in there, and it'll develop a really, really nice pocket. Try that out. And the other old school way is like the hammer and some shaving cream or some sort of, I don't like oil. I would go shaving cream or like there's like some paste, like a Vaseline-ish type stuff. Mizuno puts it out. You can find it kind of anywhere. It's leather care paste. I would use that and kind of knock it around with like the mallet or something like that. But try the submerging your glove in water works. And I know that sounds crazy, but try that out. This one comes from D Ruth 8X 8 times. Could you shout out one of your coaches that really helped you out a lot? Yes, I would love to do that. There are so many. I was very fortunate to have guys that believed in me probably when they shouldn't. I think I've told this story before, but I want to tell it again because I love this guy, man. He made a big difference in my career. Well, first shout out Gardy, because I think Gardy liked me and knew that I cared, and he gave me some opportunities maybe when I didn't deserve them. I don't know. I thought I worked pretty damn hard for him, but he gave me a nice opportunity. But Gene Glenn was our infield coach for the Twins. And, I had struggled defensively at the big league level, playing shortstop. They moved to the outfield. And I just like, I didn't, I felt at the time like I was a bad defender. I ended up, becoming the starting third baseman, and like it wasn't great over there. And he came into spring training one year and he's like, "You're gonna win a Gold Glove this year." And I just said, like, earmuffs. I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Like, come on." And he's like, "No, why not? Why can't you win a Gold Glove?" And I like named off some of the players that like were obviously going to be ahead of me, like Adrian Beltre. And he's like, "What's the difference between you and him? Like, if you work hard," he's like, "you have great hands, you got a strong arm, just outwork him." And that's what we did, man. We freaking worked so hard that year, and I saw an insane jump in my numbers. All the defensive metrics took like a huge step forward, and it was just because hard work and because he challenged me and made me actually believe that I could win a Gold Glove. Did I win the Gold Glove? No. Was I a finalist that year? No. Should I have been a finalist? Maybe. Maybe. But Gene, man, I mean, you're probably not going to see this, but I've told you how much I love you before. That was super big for me in my career. So yeah, Gene Glenn, shout out. All right, this is gonna be our last question of the episode. Comes from To Chieful, and I like this because it blends my two worlds together. Thank you everyone for sticking around for the episode. It's been a lot of fun. Love these questions. Coach, what's the filthiest pitch you've ever faced in the big leagues? And the follow-up question is, how does it compare to the filthiest warehouse pitch you've seen? Filthiest pitch I've seen in the big leagues. There's a couple of them. I saw Mariano Rivera's cutter, and for a righty, it's just you think you're gonna hit it because you know it's coming, and he's gonna throw strikes, so you think you're gonna be all over it, and it's the latest moving pitch I ever faced, if that makes sense. Like it moved past where your eyes actually see the ball. You don't see the ball all the way to the bat. You see the ball. There's a 15 to 20-foot section where you're actually not even seeing the ball. That's when his pitch moved. That's why he was so effective. It was such a late moving pitch, and it moved differently almost every single time, and he can manipulate all those things. So I'll go Mariano Rivera cutter. I'll go Felix Hernandez splitter because when that thing was on, it was ridiculous. And then I kind of have an oddball one right here. AJ Burnett. I think it was his slider. It could have been a curveball, but he threw one to me. I believe he was with the Pirates at the time. Could have been with the Yankees too. I don't really remember. But he threw that pitch to me, and I'd never seen a breaking ball move that much. And it just started like kind of any other breaking pitch. And then it was like it caught the air. Like the seams caught the air and went, it was like slow, and it was just gone. And, there's a reason he pitched for so long. And that's a nasty pitch. I think nowadays in the big leagues, they see more pitches like that because guys can work on their grips so much more and understand spin axis and what spin does to the ball. So like there's getting more and more nasty pitches like that. But at the time, this was probably 2012. We didn't, we just thought it was a good pitch, and it's hard to practice all those things. So when you saw something like that, it was super impressive. So I'll go with those three. And how does it compare to the filthiest warehouse pitch you've seen? I'm trying to even think what the filthiest warehouse pitch I've ever seen is. None of those guys, they're all jabronis, if we're being honest. I'm trying to think. It's got to be a Jack Doyle curveball or something like that. Like Jimmy Norp, I thought I would not see as well. I see him pretty well. Maybe it's the Colin Stone riser. Maybe it's that. I think that's what it is. And how do the big league pitches compare to the warehouse? They're different. I'm joking when I call everyone jabronis. It's a really tough thing. Obviously, I've struggled in the warehouse. Dan's in my ear telling me that he's going to dice me out the next time I play. That's not going to happen. You're probably going to walk me. But they're hard. We've seen major league hitters, and hopefully we get more now that we're with Major League Baseball. Step into the warehouse and see. It's difficult. It's not as difficult as a major league pitch. I'll say that. But it's not as easy as maybe one would think. So that's going to do it for today. I had a lot of fun answering your guys' questions, and maybe we'll do that another time before Rosie gets back because he still has 3 more weeks that he's gone. So we'll continue to have the rotating guests. Jolly's going to be back, Dalton, Shelfie and Swilly, maybe some other guys, Jimmy and Jake might pop in. Maybe I'll ask Cole Tucker or somebody like that to come. But again, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. You guys have made our life so much fun. I love doing this show, and it's because you guys. So for our super producer, Dan Rourke, for our intern Sawyer, and for that gallivanting Chris Rose, I'm Trevor Plouffe. We will see you on Monday on Baseball Today.